late Aston Villa goal, 1-0.
That was a beautiful one.
Crazy.
Two crazy goals to finish the games
crazy day.
I want to know your thoughts about Tottenham, because we've been talking a lot about Bale and
kind
of thinking
of
where it's going to go. So hold on, let me just lay this up a little bit.
So it's funny because, I watched the game and like I predicted, Bale comes in, right? And I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be the new headline, right? Either Bale is in or Bale is out, right? That's going to be the new headline. And he came in. He had a huge miss. I don't know if you remember. He had a huge miss. At this point, it was 3-2.
Yes.
So the first 20 minutes, Tottenham are up 3-0. Crazy. I mean, a beautiful plays between Harry Kane and Son.
Correct.
Very nice to see as a Tottenham supporter.
60 minutes of just hammering the hammers.
Yeah, very, very crazy, but very fun and enjoyable soccer to watch as well. And it's 3-0 before the half. I'm thinking I don't even need to watch this anymore, but I will anyways because I knew Bale's gonna come in. And then he did, and at some point it was 3-2, and he had a clear shot at goal. He goes by three defenders.
He beautiful 2 touches.
Yeah. It was right, amazing. And I was like, oh my God, if Bale's gonna play like this in Tottenham, like where has he been all these years in Madrid? And then he missed a shot. And to me, I'm thinking. I wasn't mad. It is what it is. It's his first game, so I'm not too upset. But I knew if that was Vinicius in Real Madrid, the world would go crazy, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone would say, "Oh, finishing, blah blah blah." But
it's true. I would.
Yeah, I know. I know you would. So I was like, okay, whatever. 3-2. It's like the 90th minute. I'm not thinking there's too much gonna happen. Like I'm already like trying to think about what to watch next. And then Lanzini comes off the bench, and I'm like, oh my God, because I know Lanzini. He's a great player. He had a bad injury last year, I think, and I knew something was gonna happen. And then there was a crazy shot, 3-3. Game is over. Everyone's saying the Bale curse is in Tottenham now. To me, it's stupid to say, but
bailed out, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Mourinho said after the match that the players are not psychologically strong enough yet, which I think that's the only explanation. Because when you're up 3-0 so early in the game, you have to be very strong psychologically to really keep playing, keep trying, not let go, and not joke around with your friends. Because we know from our games when we play, and when we're up 5-0 at the half, there's always a comeback, right? So psychology is a big effect into this kind of match, and very disappointing. Very disappointing.
Yeah, I agree. And just to lay that off, I want to get your feedback on, because first half, even though it was 3-0, and even before Bale came in, right? It's not as though. So that's where I'm kind of defending Bale here today. I don't think it was on him.
No, it's not. Of course not. Of course not.
Some people could say, oh, he's been lazy.
You can't blame it on Bale. He came in I don't know what minute, but you cannot blame the game on Bale. There's 10 other players, right?
Exactly. And my point
I would never blame Bale for a loss. That's silly. That's very silly. You can't blame one player. I know we're gonna discuss this later, but even in the Real Madrid game, everyone's going in on Vasquez, and I'm like, come on. There's 10 other players. Chill out.
Exactly. So, for example, earlier on in the first half, Mikel Antonio had a bouncer, like a yard in front of the goal. It came right to him, and he missed it. Mm-hmm. And then there was in the second half, Fornals with a header. Right. Also before Bale came in.
Right. It had nothing to do with Bale.
Either of those goals, if either of those opportunities, had they translated into goals, could have
changed
the game on its head much earlier than
of course.
Bale coming in. But I do think Winks wasn't as good a player to go in the middle, and once Højbjerg left, there was more space for
for sure. I saw that. Yeah, for sure. I agree. But also when a young player like Winks, when he comes in those late second half minutes, it's really hard to get a rhythm going. You can't expect a player to progress and be that top-notch defensive midfielder when he gets the 15 minutes a game, if at all. So again, I'm not gonna blame it on him. Anyways, I just think the substitutions. Or either a little too early or a little too, no respect to your opponent. You're going to switch out your entire midfield because, and I think we talk about this every week, and we see it in modern football that the midfield is where the game is won, right? You can go back in the years, you see the crazy Barcelona team that Pep Guardiola had with Xavi. Everything started in the middle. As soon as Real Madrid renovated their midfield, with Cruz, Modric, and Casemiro, Xabi Alonso, that's when we started winning these big games. Mm-hmm. You see it with Everton today. They brought three. I'm blanking out. They brought James, Decore, and Allen. You know,
and who else? They brought one more.
and they have Gomez playing the midfield. As soon as that midfield got renovated, they started winning games, right? So
Correct.
if you take away your midfield, that can easily throw the game away to a different side and throw your entire momentum out.
Right.
I think if I was a coach, I would be less likely to switch off more than one midfielder.
Yeah.
Personally, so I think that's what threw away the game. I do believe that if Bale would have scored that chance, there's no way for a comeback. But again, it's not on Bale. You cannot blame Bale. You cannot blame any player, any single player, unless they miss an open net.
I had a little point here that I made for when watching the first half when Tottenham were making the big moves in the game and kind of spread it open. I noticed that West Ham were attacking from the left side. They were going at Aurier.
Right.
Which, even though they were successful in making it upwards on the field, what happened was they stretched out the game. And they were very stretched toward that side. That left on the right hand Kufal, that left Balbuena, and that left Ogbana. A lot of space in between them, and that brought the gap in for Son on that beautiful goal.
Right.
So much space. By the time the help defender came in, he had like 2 yards to just kind of like, where do I want to place this?
Right.
Which was the issue, the transition early on and being defeated on those gaps.
Yeah.
Tottenham, again, managed to capitalize. All credit goes to Tottenham for doing that. I still think that there's more for them to do. This was
of course, 100%. I think it's not that, and not to take away any of the work that West Ham did, but Tottenham lost the game. You know, more than West Ham tied Tottenham. That's right. My point. I think Tottenham just lost it. It's very, you know, everyone says, "Oh, I would love my team to be 3 up in before the first 45 minutes." But to me, I don't want to see that. Like when I watch Real Madrid, I hate seeing them score first in early periods of the game, because to me that says, "Oh my God, they're gonna let loose because they're Real Madrid and they're playing smaller teams." And that often happens.
They start taking things as a given.
Yeah.
I always say that the great teams, no matter what the scoreline is, you can hide it, but you can always tell the brand of football they play. It's always the same. It's the same effort on pressing. It's the same type of pressure that they put the opposing team under when they're possessing, trying to score and get forward. It's not, let's get complacent left to right, or we can sit back. The great teams, they're always pressing. Their mentality, their belief in how the game should be played on their opponent.
For sure.
So that's... And that's another thing I really wanted to bring this up to you, because in the last 10 games, Tottenham haven't kept a clean sheet.
Right.
And Mourinho, that's his forte. But he does not have the players. So if this season doesn't go well, which at least now it's looking like it will be an inconsistent one at least, right? He will probably get another year after this.
I think as long as he makes the top 4, as long as he makes the Champions League. Yeah. As long as I think that's his goal, right? I think if you were the board of directors, or you know Daniel Levy, or whoever makes call the shots, really, I think as long as you make top 4 and you make the Champions League, I think you're good. Right. I think he should win. Again, I say this every episode, but he should be winning the Europa League. There's no excuse not to win, no matter who you came. I mean, no offense to any other teams, but I don't think there's Arsenal plays, right? I think Arsenal is the only team that can really threaten that title.
We don't know who's going to drop down from the Champions League yet, but
right, that's a good point. You're right. That's a good point. But I think at the moment, unless you lose to Arsenal in the final, there's no excuse to not go through with that competition. So, again, if he makes top 4, I'll be happy. I'm sure the board will be happy. I think Mourinho will be happy too. But what I did want to point out, if you're talking about the defense, is Reguilón, who I thought had an amazing game.
Yeah,
his second game in the team, and he looks amazing. He looks like he's connecting with the players. I really enjoy watching him. And as a Real Madrid fan, we have that buyback clause, so I'm happy he's getting the minutes, especially under Mourinho, who is an attack-minded. Everyone says he parks the bus, but I told you from day one, and when he gets his players, he plays an offensive game, and which we clearly saw that in the first half of the game.
Fast transition.
Yeah.
They were very fast in transition.
Long ball, through balls. Yeah, that's the way he liked to play. That's the way he played in Real Madrid with Ronaldo.
So now he's bringing that to Tottenham, and we talked a lot about them, and they deserve it. They had a pretty good start to the game. I think they can translate forward. I can close a little bit of what I can say on Tottenham.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure whether or not they are good enough for the top 4 this year, because of their inconsistencies up front and defense is not so successful.
That's fair.
I would say if he gets top 6, it's a good job. If he gets them 5-6 with the squad, that's just because of my perspective on the players. I know you may like some of them more, though I completely agree with you in Reguilon. It's a great point.
Yeah.
I always told you I like him for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I think that was a shrewd deal again. And how many times do you say that about Real Madrid when it comes to transfer market? Very often they do good deals, and especially right there, it could cost them what, 9-10 million pounds. Because
basically,
they sold him for 35. They can buy him at 45. They get a ready player. They don't have to keep Happy on the bench.
I'm a bit surprised that Tottenham agreed to those terms, but hey, by all means, I'll take it.
That's what I'm saying.
He's getting the minutes that he deserves,
I
and
don't like the business Tottenham did. I don't like the business. You could end up
because I think they wanted immediate impact.
That's what they got.
Which is fine. Which is fine for the way the club is looking. Not making top 4 last year,
right,
and needing that change. You went from Champions League final to not being top 4, not even top, what is it, not even 5th place, right?
Yeah.
So I think that quick impact is something they did need. So in a sense, I do now thinking about it this way, I do understand the deal and why it happened the way it did. And you don't know what happens in the next 2 years. Maybe Real Madrid doesn't buy him back, which I don't see it happening, but you never know.
But flexibility is good, and that's another good point
exactly.
to bring up. And on the other side of that, when you look at both the Bale deal as well as the Reguilon deal, when you look at the package end, let's say Real Madrid, for some reason, Reguilon has an incredible season, and they're like, we got to get him before anybody else does.
Yeah.
Let's bring in him right now. He can make an impact. They buy him for 45. Now you have a net engagement with Real Madrid of 10 million spent, and bringing in Bale and Reguilon for one season. So I guess it's not the end of the world.
Right. You're right, 100%.